but I'll kick into it. So welcome to the webinar today. I'm Dan, I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of CONQA, quality management software for construction. I'm just going to do a bit of technical hygiene up front. If you can hear me, can you please give me a thumbs up or drop a note in the chat box? Brilliant, thank you. Our session today will be around 30 minutes long. There'll be a presentation followed by a Q&A. We're recording the session, so you'll receive a copy of this later this week, and your microphones have been muted just to limit interruptions throughout the presentation. If you do have questions though, please feel free to drop them into the chat box and we can address them at the end if we get time. We also have CONQA's marketing manager, Elise, monitoring the webinar in the background, so if you do have any technical issues, she'll be there to help you out. Cool, let's get into it. Thank you for joining today's webinar, Transforming Quality Assurance, Insights from Downer's Digital QA Journey. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, Whineray Arries, Quality Manager at Downer. Whineray has significant experience in quality, management, and software implementations, and his passion for quality, environmental, and relationship management drives him to improve the balance between people, planet, and profit to ensure a sustainable future for all stakeholders. Today, Whineray will be discussing Downer's digital transformation journey for quality assurance. Whineray, thank you very much for being here today. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you, as I'm sure everyone else is. So I'll hand it over to you to take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. It is an honor to be asked to talk about implementation of quality management systems in this era that we're living in. There's a lot more focus around safety, and coming from a quality background, we kind of started feeling like the unwanted brother or sister. But besides the point, within Downer, just to give you a little bit of background as to what we were trying to achieve and why we partnered with CONQA. Yes, I am calling it CONQA for today. For all the Downer people, it is called CONQA because we got another software package called CONQA, and people has been kind of confused. They reach out to me about the financing stuff, and and I had to say to them, no, this is CONQA. So our journey with CONQA started probably 3 to 4 years ago, when we first started discussing and how do you get this sorted out. So I'm currently with infrastructure delivery, previously with transport services, and our T&I group delivers major projects, and our major project has morphed into something that is more bespoke. We have a multi-talented team across the whole business, and sometimes even partnering with our vertical structures guys at Hawkins to construct whatever is required for us within New Zealand. We do have a footprint in Australia, a fairly large one. For us, it's more about, from a quality perspective, it was always to stay true to our promise that we needed to complete each project to the highest standard and prove that we have achieved this to the client. Our biggest challenges has always been closing out projects and compiling handover packages that gives the assurance that the asset is built to design, built to specification, and built to the highest standards. Through this, we've always just looked at it from a quality perspective. So I come from an ISO quality background and not a construction background. So Downer looks at this at 3 tiers. We have our quality compliance, we've got quality assurance, and then we've got quality control. In quality control, we have the Downer standard, and then within the Downer standard, we've got the 10 quality principles, which is pretty much what everything is built around. Now we use that to quality principles, to assure quality. Now, how do I get quality assurance? For me, quality assurance is always around client trust. Does the client trust that I've built to his standard and to his spec, his or her? And all this comes out when we start handing over. When the handover documentation is trusted by the client, this is what makes it easy for us going forward to partner with more clients and deliver more projects. So, quality assurance is an important part of our business. But the most important part was always that we try to manage all these things and our quality control through the systems moving from above down into quality control. And quality control is all about our test results and the checklists and all the stuff that's being used in the field. When we had all these issues, I tried to flip this model on its head and said, hey, let's build a stronger foundation in the quality control space. And when we started this journey, I reached out to CONQA, and we started this journey to ensure quality on the ground. For me, it was always about giving people the tools to handle the things better. And that's when we started engaging CONQA and we started using it. Now, again, I have had lots of feedback from the guys with implementation because, it does become challenging. But some of the stuff that's come through is around the ease of use, the desktop and the mobile version, all our ITPs that we were required to use was built to our specification within the app. So what it showed me as an auditor as well was that was fully auditable step by step, and I could prove to my clients that we were definitely building to spec, and that's what the app is really good at, is capturing who, what, why, when, where, so that I can have a full audit trail and hand over an asset that proves to the client that we built to spec. One of the biggest other challenges was that we had multiple sources of input. So we'd have a supervisor needing to upload a picture while a site engineer needed to upload test results. With the app, we found that we could do these things simultaneously because multiple users can work on the same ITP, which was a great plus for us. The other bonus was after a while, after working with CONQA, we were able to take the app offline, which means the guys were using it in the field. If they did not have good coverage, as soon as they come within coverage or they walked into the site office, all my data would be uploaded and would be live. Now, what this does is it provides all the stakeholders, the input that all these things are available to them. One of the best feedbacks that I got was actually this week from an engineer to client who came, his comments were, my inbox has shrunk. I am not receiving 700 scans. I have not received 20,000 pictures. My computer's not always complaining that I am running out of space. So that, for me, it's good that the client can go, you're sending me whole point releases, but I can just go into those specific things and I don't have to sift through files. You're sending me direct link to where I need to be. And that made it easy. So this is allowing us to do multiple inspections almost in one site visit because all the evidence is already there to review before the engineer actually visits the site, which makes things really easy for us. And yeah, I can go into the detail of the ease of use and stuff, but as a quality manager, for us, it was always around managing and making sure that while I'm constructing, I am tracking how my QA is going, because there's been, all quality managers will attest to that tracking QA has been some of the hardest things. There's a piece of paper in a guy's ute. It's got a boot print on it. There's a clipboard lying around on site that someone is. So there's multiple things happening simultaneously, and some of the stuff gets lost. I mean, that's the harsh reality of living on a construction site. Or someone puts something in the site office, and then someone moves that piece of paper, and it ends up being gone forever. Capturing the data live is now making that almost impossible to lose anything. So that's around the gathering side of it. When it came to the reporting side, we initially started with a setup, and I had all these matrices that I could go through and go, okay, everything that's ticked blue is being completed. The little circles is not started. The ones with the spanners are in progress, and I can go click into those and then go. But it became a little bit clunky in terms of trying to manage multiple ITPs and being across. Some of these sites are huge, and we have 10 or 12 things going on simultaneously. At that stage, we started talking about lot management, and we started implementing it on all our projects and in infrastructure delivery, as well as transport now. What this does really good is that the lot dashboards on the management tab is making it really easy for project and quality managers to have a quick overview, go in and go, oh, this is where I need to focus. This is where I need to drill down. This is what I need to do to manage the QA properly. And there's a lot of other things that are still being talked about with the development team in terms of what these dashboards could look like. But in the meantime, I've always said, do not let what's good get in the way of when you're trying to get to perfect. Use what is good currently in front of you. And that's why I chose to go with the app. There are other apps out there. There's lots of other software out there. We all know it. For me, using a quality product that's built around quality and not around 6 other things. Do your core role properly. And that is why I chose to go down this route. I can have some other stuff, do other things, and who knows where we end up with this app integrating with other apps and the things starting to talk to each other. But, to use a rugby analogy, if you can't do your core role properly, don't show me all the other flashy stuff. I don't care about that. So yeah, that's why we landed on lot management. And lot management is giving me great insights. And then on the reporting side, CONQA has got great reports to close out, but in the intermediate for me to manage, it's got the lot management report, it's got the project report. So all these things are available as CSV or Excels, which I then pull down and integrate into my live dashboards, which makes it easier for some of the engineers to then drill down into specific ITPs that they need to focus on. It also shows them visually how many hold points are outstanding and where they need to, focus a little bit more, or provide a little bit more resource, which helps the PMs in delivering on time, on budget, in all that space. So yeah, look, again, all these dashboards, all these things is easy when you have the right information coming through and flowing through. And I would not put the data out there if I did not trust the data coming in. And that is why I love when I have to close out a project and I print a report. I can have a full audit trail and I can go, this was changed by this person. And when my quality engineers does the intermediate audits, because they do audit all those packs before it's signed off finally and released in CONQA, they have to go through all the product, all the stuff that was added in there, and make sure that we are delivering a fully compliant product. Yeah, so that's pretty much how we are currently using. What the future looks like, yeah, I think we've got great ways to go. There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of time for us to look at doing things better and different, because we've got hindsight. So if we don't learn from those lessons from the past into how to make things better, one of the biggest challenges is it always took a while to compile and close out all the QA before handover. And yes, it does vary depending on the client requirements, but on average, we were looking at 90 days plus before we could, after construction, to actually, get the handover. And only once the handover and the sign off and the stuff is happening, that's when you start getting paid. And we all know cash flow is really important for the business. And that's another plus of lot management currently, is that I am doing progressive handovers. So I can then hand over a certain portion or a certain asset to the client and get paid for that. Making, I don't have to wait until the end of a project now to start looking at those things. And my target, it's a lofty goal, and I feel for the team because I'm pushing them, but I feel we can actually, 30 days after construction, for any specific section, we can close out that TOA, and we can, liaise with the client and go, okay, I'm happy to hand over this, and here's all the documentation, happy for you to audit that and go through it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the day I actually hand in a pack within 30 days. Yes, I know I've got concrete tests and stuff that takes 28 days, but doesn't mean we have to stop and sit and wait and do nothing. In the meantime, I've got my team going all the time. Yeah, it's looking really good, and the future is looking good. So thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Whineray. Yeah, it's been fantastic to hear about your journey. Obviously, we've played a role in part of it, but I love the ambitions as well of trying to get to the 30-day closeout. It's always good to set ambitious goals. We're going to take some questions now, but just while we're waiting for anyone to drop them in there, I've had one that's been flicked through from Elise. You mentioned that you've got the supervisors collaborating on the QA with the engineers, where they may be uploading photos and the likes. I know for a lot of the market, they struggle to bring in supervisors to the QA process, and actually it's often viewed as like a at your office admin-based task for engineers.
Yeah.
Do you have any learnings for how you've kind of fostered that more collaborative culture and bringing in multiple stakeholders to the QA process?
Yeah, it was a unique challenge because in our industry we've got an aging workforce, and some of the people in our workforce is not really very tech savvy. On some projects we tried a buddy system where we would partner someone who's actually tech savvy with someone that's not so tech savvy, and then it's you teach me something and I'll teach you something. And getting that partnership going. And then also, we can't develop all these systems and then just throw the system at people. With supervisors as well, they all know my door is open at all times, on Teams, anywhere. They ping me, they have a question, they ask me, can I do this? Can I try that? Can the app do this? Can that? And we'll find ways. So for me, being available at all times to the teams is more around the coaching on how to use the app. You can't sit people down for 20 minutes and watch a video or watch one of the CONQA guys do a presentation and then expect them to just walk out there and be, fully versed in the product. So it is having that support structure, one back, two back. And yes, I've got quality engineers out there that's helping them now. And some of the younger engineers are a little bit more tech savvy. So that's how I try and get them online.
That's awesome. I love the buddy system. I've noticed within Downer that you guys have quite like a strong message coming through from a number of the senior leaders that sit outside of the quality team with the focus on quality. We've certainly seen it on some of the projects that we've worked with. You mentioned at the start of the presentation that quality was often the little brother or sister of health and safety. What things have you noticed that have worked well to translate the message? So it's not just a buddy system in terms of this is how you use it, but actually like this is why quality is important to us. What kind of key learnings or messages have you found that have resonated when trying to highlight the importance of QA or quality processes and their broader impact on a project or the business?
I would probably say it is the visibility of the data and the live data. I'm making all this data available from project management level all the way to the top. And they all have logins and they can all have a look and they can all ask questions around this data. And yes, we are ever evolving as we improve these dashboards and stuff like that. But it's for people to understand that you cannot manage what you don't measure and don't monitor. And for me, that's the biggest challenge. How do I have 3,000 hold points that I have to look out for? It's just physically impossible. But how do I use the tools around me? But how do I pass those tools onto the project manager who's also worrying about the safety on his site, also worrying about getting the right equipment to site, there's a lot of levers to pull in the space. How do I make it easy for them to manage quality? And then being there to do the quality presentations and all those kind of things. Because a quality manager that's not busy trying to find pieces of paper has the time to then stand up at a toolbox and talk about quality. Because I'm buying them time. Because that is the biggest challenge for me.
I love that. That point was so good. I actually lost my follow-up question that I had logged in my brain to ask you on that front. That's a very good point. I think it, it's not coming back to me. I should have written it down.
Yeah, that's okay, Dan, because it just, for me, it's just the gift of time is what the app brings to me. And the gift of time is what I'm giving down to the PMs and down to the quality managers and the quality engineers, because that gives them time to actually do what they love, and that's build stuff. Yeah. People hate the work. They hate it.
That's what I was going to say. It's because we've noticed, I think there's a general trend in the market of kind of expecting the next generation to come through and being able to use all the technology and everything. And I think what you and your team and many other contractors we work with do well is bring your more experienced, maybe slightly less tech savvy people who know what the hell they're doing into the fold on this. And I think you get so much more leverage because you've got the people who carry a lot of mana or a lot of respect on site, driving the message and engaging with it as well. So it's I think what you guys are seeing, the results you have, I think it's awesome to see. And I hope that that not everyone's waiting for the next generation to come through, because it'll be a long time, and you've got some really great leverage with your experience that you can use.
Yeah.
So Whineray, I'll pause there. I don't think we've had any questions come through. I think you've been so thorough in your presentation that you've covered it all off for everybody. But for everyone here, Whineray's offered to answer any follow-up questions, so please send them through to us at CONQA via Elise, and we'll pass those on and try and get them answered for you. But mate, on behalf of everyone on the call here, I just want to say a huge thank you, Whineray. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for the diligent prep. Thank you for being so open with some of your learnings. It's, you know, it could be competitive advantage, but you've shared it transparently with folks, and I think it ultimately just benefits everyone in the industry. So, Whineray, thank you for your time today. It's been a pleasure to talk with you, and thank you everyone for attending.
Thanks, Ray. Cheers, man. Thank you.